Brought to you by Sunoco. Hello and welcome to the 39th season of special saloon car racing in Denmark. We're at the opening meeting at Djursland in Jutland. There are 24 fast and furious cars to the start, from Ferraris to Porsches, BMWs, Audis and some mean prototypes. Let's meet two of the favourites. The first is Claus Christensen.
The car you can see here is Aquila. It's a CR1 with a 7-liter Corvette engine. Our engine today is a standard engine with 550 horsepower and 700 Newton of torque. But it's completely standard. We were supposed to have made a new engine for this year, but it was not finished for the first race. So in the first race we had a disadvantage of 100 kilos extra in the car, so it's 1,200 kilos now. It was normally 1,100 kilos, but we will make a 6.3 in a tuned engine, where we get some more horsepower, not so much torque, but more horsepower, and we get down 100 kilos, so it'll be better for next race.
In pole position is the Norwegian Christer Gislerud, who started his racing career in go-karts when he was 9.
The car is a Steel B6. It's originally from England. It's a GT1 car, as you can see on the scoop. It's gone in Fiat GT1 in Germany. And when we bought it from Netherlands. It's a 6.2 liter Chevrolet engine, so it's very fast.
Mr. Christensen is going to be on your tail.
I know, he's coming to be fast. So you have to wait and see. It's 18 laps, so everything can happen.
And he's right, he was late for the start, has to begin from the pit lane, so should make for some really interesting racing. Roland Poulsen in his Porsche smokes his tyres and makes a dream start, with Christian Siepmann tucking in behind. Round the right-hander into the pit straight, and all 25 safely away. And Christer's stealth has to wait for the last to pass before he can begin. Poulsen in the lead, and using this weekend as practice for the German series he'll be taking part in. Siepmann in second, Klostermann third, as we go on board Siepmann's BMW. He's got a new 600 horsepower engine from Holland, and he's taking the tight inside line. But Poulsen retains the lead, Klostermann third, Hansen fourth. This is the Aquila with Christensen passing some of the slower cars. Much more power, but too heavy for his liking. Jørn Hansen recently burst a tyre on the quick swing at Hockenheim and spun many times, so this is his reserve car. While up front, Poulsen being pressed all the way by Siepmann, but retaining the lead for now. Hansen and Klostermann almost side by side, with Fredriksholm 5th and Gravesen's Fiat Turbo 6th. 27-year-old Poulsen lives in Varberg in Sweden and must be pleased with how it's going. Siepmann lives close to here in Aarhus, which is Denmark's second largest city, playing a bit of cat and mouse game with the Porsche. As it's the first race of the season for most of the drivers, they'll be using it to set up their cars, and for some it's the first time behind the wheel of a new car, so a lot of anxious faces before the start. I think Christian has had enough of playing second fiddle. He seems to be closing the gap, moving inside of Poulsen, who's gone really wide, and he says thank you kindly and takes the lead. So it's Siepmann, Poulsen, Hansen, Klostermann, Gravesen and Holm. And where are the big boys? Ah, here they come. Claus and Christer about midway in the pack, meaning there's plenty of work left for them to do. Claus also from Aarhus, where he owns a painting company. If he wins today, I'm sure he'll paint the town red. But there's a big black shadow behind him that looks very menacing. Andreas Kjærgaard in his Scotty GT ahead of him. It's a Belgian prototype developed in 2011, with most of the parts coming from Porsche. I don't think he's got the power to hold off the Aquila and the Stealth. And they move on with no trouble at all. Bjarne Mortensen in his Peugeot and Martin Mortensen in the Corsa are next, with Klaus Andersen in his Porsche giving them a clear run through on the inside. It's a bit cold, but good racing weather this early in the season. Whilst at the front, Seatman has no trouble taking Per Stoldal in the diesel Audi in Norway. Weighs 1,500 kilos, so no match for the Beamer. Poulsen, Hansen, Klosterman, Pedersen and Gravesen. And then the Aquila is in 7th place now with his stealthy friend behind. There are several Norwegian teams here getting practice for the forthcoming season, and the next event for the special saloons is at Rudskogen in Norway in June. And that's a very good circuit and Krista Gislerud's home track. Out in front, Seatman tells me that this year he's changed from Dunlop to Michelin tyres, and he's delighted with them, and now he's playing catch me if you can with the rest of them. Taking 403 Gravesen, who was 6th, and the 2 favourites moving remorselessly through the field with 6 laps remaining. The leaderboard is Seatman, Poulsen, Hansen, Pedersen, Klosterman, Christensen and Gislerud. That's Klosterman's BMW ahead, and believe it or not, he rides Enduro on a hobby basis. Comes from near Copenhagen, where he has his own building construction business. And passing Sorensen's Chevrolet, who's a lap behind. Stoldal's Audi making space for them. And the Aquila easing through on the inside with Hans-Henrik Pedersen's Corvette ahead of them. So now Christensen's 4th. Can he stay ahead of the Stealth, who's lurking behind, and take the Corvette ahead of him? Hans-Henrik's not going to make it easy for him. He loves fast cars. He's got 3 Corvettes and 2 Marcos. Johan Hansen immediately ahead of him. Johansson's Camaro giving the leader plenty of room on the inside, and behind the Corvette is in 2nd place, with Hansen not blocking the faster cars. The Stealth is right behind, and then whoopsie, he's right in front. It's Seatman and Poulsen way ahead, with the Corvette definitely slowing the Aquila and Stealth. Later on this season we'll also be visiting Padborg Park and Jyllandsring, so lots to look forward to, as well as Rudskogen in Norway. Now the leader is approaching some of the less powerful cars. Oh, Pedersen's Honda kicking up the dust as he tried to go inside. Seaman's been alone at the front for a long time. Not that he's complaining, of course. But time is beginning to run out for Klaus and Krista. They're going to have to get past the Corvette, which Hans-Henrik says he's still trying to find the right setup for. And Krista's had enough. Swiftly through to take the Aquila, who's really suffering from the extra 100 kilos he's carrying. Oh dear, Johannes Gravesen has burnt out his ignition, and that will also put him out of the final race as well. So not a good start to the season for the 68-year-old. And it looks like Krista's passed the Corvette, which is still slowing Christensen in the Aquila. Seatman still in the lead, and Klaus needs a break to get past Hans-Henrik's Corvette. So the position is now Seatman, Gislerud, Pedersen and Christensen. Krista can now open the horses to try to catch Seatman's BMW, and he still has a few laps to do it in. Preben Grundvig in his Ferrari, allowing the Corvette and the Aquila through on the inside. It's Preben's first race in the car he bought last December. Seatman on the start straight with the Stealth rapidly approaching, so his time in the lead is almost over. But he's had a good race, and I'm sure he'll be happy with his BMW. Oh, that's the youngest driver in the race, Mikkel Pedersen, only 16 years old, in his new Porsche, which he got in February. They've trimmed it down from 450 to 350 horsepower until he gets used to the car. Wise decision. Back with Seatman, he's got Joachim Rasmussen in his Ferrari ahead. He failed to finish in the first heat yesterday, but doing much better today. Foot to the floor and easing through. But the Stealth is getting closer. Their mechanic said that Krista was working until the small hours to get it finished in time before they left Oslo to come here, and it looks like he did a good job. There's still a couple of laps to go now, and I think Krista can choose the time and the place to mount his challenge, because the Stealth has shown it's the fastest today, and Krista, who started racing go-karts when he was 9, is a previous Norwegian, Swedish and Scandinavian champion and has the talent to match. It's only the 6th time behind the wheel of his Stealth, and as they come round to open up for the start straight, I think that Krista will make his move. There he goes on the outside, and there's nothing Christian Siepmann can do. Hans-Henrik Petersen's Corvette is still ahead of the Aquila, and he can't find his way past. But help may be at hand. Anders Christiansen and his Peugeot is down in 18th place and on the inside blocking the way for the Corvette. As Klaus takes the outside line and says thanks Dad for helping him out. So it's into 3rd place for Christiansen. Hans-Henrik Petersen is 4th, and Krista Gislerud, the worthy winner, coming round to take the checkered flag for Norway. And full marks for trying for Christian Siepmann and his BMW, who held the lead until 2 laps from the end. And 3rd place goes to the Aquila, and Klaus will be delighted with that. So here's the top 8. The Stealth takes 1st place, followed by the BMW, Aquila, Corvette, Porsche, BMW and Ferrari. Now let's talk to the top 3. Krista, you should have been in pole position, but what happened?
We get late to the start, so when we get to the starting line we get the red flag. We have to wait till every car has passed. So we're too slow to get on the track, but when we first are on the track we are very fast.
But Christiansen, he made life difficult for you.
Yeah, he's very fast, and when I get a good corner, he get it too. But when they go down to the hill, I put in the 5th gear. I think he won't brake or something.
What was your reaction when you saw that Krista was way behind you?
My first reaction was a big smile and a small relief, because it was even for both of us after we were put down in the back as well. But yeah, it only lasted for around 10 or 11 rounds. Then I had him in my mirrors, and I couldn't keep up with him on the straights. We have too less power and too much kilos to carry this weekend, so we didn't have a chance.
After you took the lead, it looked like you were going to win.
Yes, but I knew that Krista was coming in his Stealth, so I got on the radio, just keep on the speed. But it's a little difficult when you drive alone, but I tried as hard as I could, and but he came, I think, 3 rounds before we were finished, and we were braking very, very late, and we were going pair around in the corner, but then he took off. So that was fair. We are driving fair in this class, and it was a good fight.
Before the next race, let's talk to the youngest and oldest drivers. Mikkel Petersen, 16, and Jørn Hansen, 69.
I think it is amazing that such a boy, he is already so fast as he is. The first time he drive in the Porsche.
Well, you're the youngest driver in the field. What's it like against some of these old-timers?
It's hard. We don't know anything about the setup or anything, so we just start slow and do what we can.
From the light gets green, it's full throttle all the way.
And welcome back to Ring Djursland for Heat 3 of the Special Saloons. The Stealth and the Aquila at the front, but Christiansen has managed to edge past the Stealth with Seatman ahead of the Corvette. There are 21 cars to the start for this final race, and all safely away. Hansen ahead of Peterson's Corvette, but only briefly. Hansen began his career in rallying, Danish champion in '75, and began in special saloons in 2006, and he was overall champion last season. Not bad for a 69-year-old. Klaus told me that he had clutch problems again with his Aquila, but still in the lead for the moment. Seatman has a cleaning company in Aarhus, and he nearly cleaned up in the first race of the day, but he's third in this. The Stealth now making its move, taking the inside line and the lead. Then it's Christensen, Seatman, Peterson, Hansen and Poulsen. Further back, Andersen in a Porsche has company with Peterson's Honda and Mortensen's Peugeot. And this is Martin Mortensen's Opel Corsa. He's 22 and this is his second season in special saloons. Comes from Odense. Special saloons have 4 classes based on chassis type and engine capacity, so everyone can race together. Martin goes to the University of Southern Denmark and he has exams on the Friday before the next meeting in Rudskogen, so he's going to hop on a plane to make sure he makes it. Good for you, Martin. Andersen's Porsche still keeping the others at bay. Johan Hansen ahead of Roland Poulsen, the Ferrari, and young Mikael Peterson having a good drive as he gets more used to his new Porsche. They collected it from Malpensa in Italy in February. Mikael started in go-karts when he was 7, then drove Formula Ford last year. There's a big difference between Formula Ford and a 350 horse Porsche. But it'll be interesting to follow his progress during the course of the season. Hans-Henrik Petersen still having problems with the setup for his Corvette. Oh dear, terminal problems by the look of it. A sad end to his weekend. Krista in the lead. Oh, but the rear brakes of Holmes McGann seem to have locked up. And that's what happens. Well, there's help on the way for home. Let's hope he's okay. And it's a good reminder to Mikael to take care out there. So an official with Frederick. Thumbs up, and that's good news. Here it is again, sliding gracefully in the sand at the end of the start straight and flipping over. The yellow flag's out, of course, and helping to free him from the safety harness, which does present a problem when you're upside down. Well, if Krista wins, it'll be 3 out of 3. Not bad for the young Norwegian from Oslo. Frederick Holmes safely out of his Megane. He's a car mechanic with his own workshop, so there's a few hours work for him to schedule in there. The safety car's out, so they'll all bunch up. Mustn't overtake or they'll be penalised. 34-year-old Frederick, single, so he has plenty of time to do the repairs. Johan Hansen trying to keep the tyres warm, and that's what the rest of them are doing as the safety car leaves the track. It's the Stealth, followed by Christensen's Corolla and Christensen's Peugeot. The Aquila has Seatman's BMW on his tail as they try to resume normal racing. It's the Stealth with the Corolla holding up the Aquila, but not for long. Niels comes from Uring in northern Jutland, where he has a workshop in Vra. The Scotty leading Hansen's Porsche and Sorensen's Chevrolet, but the flow of the race has been altered by the yellow flags and the safety car. One thing's for sure, unless he has a technical problem, no one is likely to catch Krista's Stealth, and Klaus's Aquila looks sure of second spot. Pierre Stoldel in his Norwegian Audi, limping round, well down in the field. Niels Christensen seems to be enjoying himself in his Corolla, with Johan Hansen's Porsche waiting for the right moment to pass. There he goes, Johan currently in 4th place. Rennie Rasmussen's Ferrari steaming through on the inside. Krista's been here twice before, but this weekend makes up for previous disappointments he's had. Christian Siepmann, comfortable in third with his BMW. With 2 previous second places, it's been a really good weekend for him. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Slowing down. Letting the other cars pass. And he's pulling off the track. What a choker. So the 1, 2, 3 is now Gislerud, Christensen and Hansen. As Siepmann wends his weary way back to the pits. Hansen is now third. After go-karts, Krista had a Peugeot 206 when he was 15, a BMW when he was 16 and a Porsche when he was 18. Nico easing past Christensen's Corolla. And Andreas Skergård's Scotty is not far behind. Preben Gunvig's Ferrari trying to move past Sorensen's Chevrolet, but he's picked up a 20-second stop-and-go penalty for overtaking in a yellow flag zone, and so did Rennie Rasmussen, and another 20 seconds were added because they failed to come in and take their penalty. They're on their final lap now. The Stealth cruising to victory. Jan Hansen tying up the third place for a good start to the season. And this is the final bend for Krista. Grunvig moving out for the Norwegian. And in second place, Klaus Christensen, who's really looking forward to their next meeting in Rudskogen when he'll be 100 kilos lighter with a new engine. It's third for Hansen, who's making a good start to defending his overall championship, which he won in 2012. So here's the final results, with Roland Poulsen picking up fourth, Andreas Kjærgaard fifth, and 16-year-old Mikkel Pedersen in sixth place. And naturally, the Norwegians were delighted with Krista's 3 first places. Yeah, it was a bit of an on-off race, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was like first came the safety car, and you have to go very slow. And after this was like almost every corner in the tracks was a left flag. So yeah, it's kind of difficult when it's a yellow flag all over the track, but.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to Rudskogen.
Yeah, that's my track. That's my home course. So that will be fun.
As the class prize winners receive their trophies, this is Roger England hoping you'll join us at Rudskogen for round 2 of the special saloon. Bye now and stay safe. Brought to you by Sunoco.